What's up guys, this is Parker and Mehar here from Robotic Rampage. In this video, we're going to be analyzing every match that we participated in at the Winter Wild Fest Scrimmage in Christiansburg, hosted by the Redbeard Pandas. Now, just a little disclaimer here, we are only analyzing our performance. We may make a few comments about what other teams are doing to help provide commentary on strategy or gameplay. We're mostly focusing just on what our team did specifically.
Later, we're going to have Jeet and Colin come in and help us get these final scores.
If you guys haven't seen our earlier video about our entire day at this scrimmage, be sure to watch that using the link right up here. Alright guys, this is match 1. We are starting on the Blue Alliance. We're up there in the top left of your screen. This is our match 1. It is also the first match of the day. And there is some feedback on the live stream, so sorry about that. So here we launched 2. They both miss, unfortunately. And then you can see that third one does not launch because it gets pushed forward.
And we end up in taking 4 balls.
Yes. And they do call a foul on us, just as they should. They also do call a foul on Red a little bit earlier. I'm not quite sure why they did that, because Red did not move. But we definitely did get a foul called on us. So the first thing our drive team does here that's a really good idea is we reversed our intakes, we spit those balls back out. Because I do believe there's a penalty if we launch those balls because we had 4 in the robot at one time. Really smooth intake right there for the first go. I think here we were having some battery issues or something that was, or the flywheels were...
Battery issues.
Yeah, and that's why we weren't actually scoring a lot. You can see the monster of a robot that 16774 has, and they're in that close triangle closest to the camera, and that's kind of making it hard for us to launch from that point. And you can see here, when I pause it right there, you can see 16774 just opened their gate. I know we said we wouldn't comment on other teams, but it's an interesting strategic move there, because while those artifacts still count in your total number of artifacts, the motif only comes from what is in your ramp at the end of the match. So interesting choice there for them to open their gate there, with only 38 seconds remaining on the clock.
This first match, we were pretty inconsistent with shooting.
You can see here we're getting some overflow artifacts, so that means our ramp is completely filled up, which is good. That's the end-game buzzer. I think we just made one there. And you can see here, we go to open our gate with 10 seconds left, which I think, if I'm correct, was a call made by our drive team because they didn't realize how much time was left on the clock. So again, all those artifacts still count for points, but the motif pattern, we basically just erased all of our motif pattern, which, you know, is fine for the first match. You get back into things. It's been a while since we'd had a match. Both 10 seconds left was probably maybe not the best idea. But our drive team corrected this immediately and did not do it again for the rest of the game, which is good. You can see our alliance partner there is parking in the box.
We did not get any park this match either.
No, we were trying to launch all the balls we had and did not make a full park, or did not make any park. But still, really good start for the day. Definitely got some good points on the board there. Unfortunately, no motif for either team, actually. But like we said, this was our first match and the very first match of the day. So teams are still kind of getting back into the rhythm of things.
Hello, this is Colin, Jeet from Robotics Rampage, and we'll be here after each match to tell you the final scores.
We had a great time at this event. We learned many things and were able to pass out our knowledge to other teams, which were in our benefit and the other teams. Me and Colin here will be telling you the scores for our matches.
Because we are not official FTC refs, we simply made these scores based on our observations, and we did not include foul points.
Match 1, the score was 41-17. We won this match.
All right, match 2, here we go. We are Blue Alliance again, still starting in the top left. You can see we're still having some problems with launching. We launched one and it missed. Second one missed as well. And the third one made it. And that's interesting because our third launch is often different than the first two for some reason. But we got all three from the spike mark, had a nice pickup there. And I'll pause it there for a second because you notice all the other robots started moving, however, we do not. And that's because we either had a controller or a connection issue that you'll see basically made us inactive for the entire match. You also note we do not have an alliance partner. Sure, alliance is supposed to be 22682, and more than likely the robot had a problem. I believe that might have been the team we were helping back in the pits at this during this match. But they did not have a robot on the field. And so unfortunately, I think we only score a few more artifacts for the rest of the match because of that issue. So we'll kind of fast forward through the rest of this match until we start moving again. And so that buzzer you hear there is just a repeat from the live stream.
About halfway through here, we, I think, got connection back and finally started to move.
Yeah, so you can see we are moving a little bit, but we're still not driving with full power per se. And we can see the intake is running. I can't tell what the fly was, but the intake is running, so we have some control. You can see our drive team on the far right side there, trying to diagnose the problem and work through it. You can see we just made a big move there, and now we are starting to get control back, getting the feel of things. Though I do think we continue having problems for the first bit here. Props to the other alliance, though, for sure, for scoring that many artifacts. That is very impressive. You can see here is where we start to get our control back and start driving. You can see there is definitely some contact there. That should be a foul in red for driving into our base zone during end game, and I believe it was called on red. But we still get a full park right before the match ends.
In match 2, unfortunately, the scores were flipped on the live stream counter, but the final score was 57-20, and we lost.
All right, guys, our match 3 up now. We have changed alliances. We are on the red alliance starting in the top right of your screen. You can see there is some contact there with the ramp robot or the 4924, the Red-Beard Pandas, but I do believe it goes unpenalized. And we'll talk about contact penalties towards the end of this video and explain a little bit more about those.
As you can see here, due to us having contact with them, we weren't able to go in and take our usual 3 balls.
And so while we're kind of in this, starting the period here, the Pandas robot is a ramp, and they can actually lower that front a little bit more. And so you'll see an in-game, the goal is for another robot to drive up on top, so that way we get 2 full parks, which means both robots are fully supported inside of those squares you see at the bottom of your screen. And so we'll try this during this match, and we'll see if we can drive up on top. And that is the best way to get the highest number of points in game, is to get 2 full parks.
Like, as you can see here, we're shooting, but we're still like having that issue of not being consistent. Like, I can hear the flywheel spinning up, but there's still not enough power for that ball to go in.
I do want to say 21358, which I believe is Shockwave Robotics. They have a really good robot, and they're able to launch really consistently from up close and kind of have a nice little arc like this. And so their robot is very impressive for the size that it is. Now you will notice that 14597 here's blue just went into the same place where we're getting our artifacts from our human player station, and that is actually allowed. If there are artifacts on the ground, they can pick them up. Our human player is not required to give them to them, but if they're on the ground, they can pick it up unpenalized. And so here the Pandas start to get aligned in the base zone. You'll see the ramp will kind of lower here in a minute.
We're trying to drive up it.
Our left side is too far away, and unfortunately we do not make it because we were too far off to one side.
Based on our testing that we'd done before these matches to see if it was possible for us to drive up their robot, you need a little bit of a run up before you can actually drive up their ramp. You can't just like be right there and just push it up.
Yeah. The maximum size for FTC robots is 18 inches and an 18-inch cube. And their robot is right about 18 inches, but so is ours. And so there really isn't a lot of wiggle room left to right for us to drive up there. So both the robots are really wide, and so it is difficult for us to be able to get up there. And our robot basically is 18 by 18 by 18, and so we really don't have a lot of wiggle room to get up there and have the room forward, backward, or left to right to be able to do it. We will try again later in the video, so be sure to stay tuned for that.
Match 3, the score was 43-34. We lost this match.
All right, guys, match 4 up now. We are once again on the red alliance, starting in the top right of your screen. You see there is some contact there from blue, but I believe that does go unpenalized because it is autonomous. They're being a little lenient on that. You can see we make one in here.
We shot all 3. We missed 2.
And then successfully pick up 2. So that camera that just popped up in the right side is a camera of our drive team. You can kind of hear them talking a little bit in the audio.
So right from the get-go here, we're able to get a couple of good shots in.
And just a note, if it bounces off those blue panels that are behind the goals and then goes into the goal, it does not count. A little bit of contact there from blue.
So in the background, you can hear him talking about auto align. Auto align is a feature that we have where it'll detect the what is it called?
The April tag on the goal.
The April tag, and all we do is like we hold down our right bumper or whatever we have programmed to, and the robot will kind of wiggle and get a rough auto align, so that it can help our drive team shoot the balls more consistently.
Yeah. It'll also auto set the speed for the distance, though we can and did during the day override that and go manual. Definitely some contact there on the left side. And you notice there are volunteers dropping artifacts just right back on the field. Technically, that's not how you're supposed to do it, but this is just a scrimmage, so it's fine. But technically, if this was a full qualifier or competition match, that would not be the proper practice. I know one thing that we stressed this year was trying to not contact robots if we had power to control that, and I feel like we did our drive team did a really good job, especially B and Hope, working together, making sure that we tried to avoid hitting other robots as much as possible.
So you can hear right there, they made a pretty good call for not opening that gate.
Yeah, definitely a good call with how much time is left. And you can see, that's why I said, we're learning from the mistakes we made earlier in the day, and we're making the call to not open that gate because of the time that's left. So there's the end game. You can see the other team just opened their gate, which may have been an accident because there's so many robots over there. You can see blue, I believe, is going for, red going for a partial park there. We also going for a partial park, so both of us get a partial park. So not as much points as if we had both full parked, but still good points to get both of us in there. And actually, correction on that, we are pretty close to that line, and so we may not be supported inside of the tape, which means that we may only have one partial park there. I'm not sure. You can see the refs here trying to decide how they're going to call that. And I don't know if that is a full or a partial park, or two partials, or just one partial park.
In match 4, the score was 38-50, and we won.
All right, guys, so now we're moving on to match 5, and you'll notice we have got a lot of cameras going on here, so quick breakdown for you. The bottom left is the live stream feed you've been seeing the entire time. We are on the Blue Alliance, starting in the top left of that box. The upper left camera is kind of a follow camera that will be following our robot and the drive team on the field. The upper right camera is a camera that is actually mounted on the robot, so that'll be an interesting angle. And then that bottom right is the camera we added last match, which is our drive team camera. Match 5, here we go. Notice all these robots that are on the field right now are all pretty close to the max size constraint, I would say, with maybe the exception of Shockwave. Shockwave's a little bit smaller. And you can see here, especially if you look in the top right, you'll see that, I believe that's the Data Demons, I believe, hit us in the front and then actually push us back a little bit. But again, I believe they let that go unpenalized. And so again, that did prevent us from getting those spike mark artifacts. And again, you can hear our drive team audio here. So I think what happened there is I think we actually picked up a 4th ball somehow, and so we spit them all back out. You notice here our human player is getting talked to by the ref, just making sure that we're not contacting the robot. And that's why he's getting a little distracted right there, because he's talking with the ref. But we do a good job of correcting on that, so good job, Colin. You can see us getting aligned here. Just to give you some drive team comments here too. Colin is a human player for this match. Hope is driver 1, Sam is driver 2, and B is the coach.
I don't think we changed battery. Did we change battery? Battery's not max though. It's okay. It should be a 13 point.
You hear them commenting about the battery, so it does, voltage does drop when we are running the flat wheels for the launcher. Hear the in-game buzzer there. You can see we have a full park there, I believe. Though I think at the last second we do move out and it becomes a partial, but that's fine. You can also notice there in the bottom left you see another shockwave, I believe, trying to get up on that Panda's ramp, and you can see that it is difficult even for a smaller robot. But that was a really good idea by the Pandas, and we did some testing with the different angles and stuff to help them out with that. That is a really unique design that not a lot of teams did, and so kudos to them for trying that out.
Match 5, the score was 34-33. We won this match.
All right, guys, match 6 up now. We are on the Red Alliance, starting in the bottom right of your screen. The reasoning why we might have started at this point and not where we've been starting before is because if our alliance partner had a autonomous program that was more consistent than ours in launching and scoring artifacts, we're going to default to them and let them take the closer position to the goal. You can hear them call a foul there, I think, probably for contact. And so we'll pause here so you can hear a drive team trying to figure out what's going on. They were a little late to pick up their controllers, which is interesting, in that 8 seconds. But I believe the issue here was driver 1 needs to push start A and driver 2 needs to push start B on their controller. And they either did not do this or they were reversed. And so it took them just a few seconds to figure that out. Good problem solving by the team. They got it sorted out real quick, and you can see Mehar there too, ready to help out if needed. So, quick little problem there. Only took about 8 seconds to fix. And then we're right back in it, so didn't let it get to their heads. Good job, guys. Major contact there, and I do believe a foul was called. It does sound like it was called on red, which unfortunately is our alliance. You can see again, really working on contact. That was one of the things we prioritized in drive team training this year, was working on not contacting the robots. Really like B there saying, guys, we gotta calm down. Kind of getting a little all over the place, locking in, focusing. Good call.
I think another contact there.
Yeah. Again, we'll talk more about contact penalties closer to the end and kind of talk a little bit about when those do and don't get called. More contact there. I mean, really, when you think about it, this field looks pretty big, but when you put 4 robots that are, a 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5 or 18 inches, all driving around, it really does get kind of small pretty quick. And it looks like probably maybe a full and a partial there, the partial by us. And you can definitely tell that our ramp there in the right side of the live stream feed is definitely filled up. So overall, a pretty good match for us, though there was a lot of contact in that little controller problem right there at the beginning.
In match 6, the score was 17-59, and we won.
All right, going on to match 7. We are starting in the upper right of your screen on the Red Alliance. So first one misses there.
Second one goes in.
And that third one misses as well.
Now can we intake 3?
We do get all 3 and a nice pickup there. And that really sets us up for a good spot to just back up and turn a little bit, and we're ready to launch those 3 once driver control starts.
Good job there not making any contact.
Some nice shots right off the bat there from all sides. And I do believe for these matches, I think we switched our drive team up a little bit. So I think you can see Sam loading artifacts there. And so I believe it might be you and Mehar as driver 1, me as driver 2, B as coach, and Sam as human player, I believe, is the drive team for this match. You can see a nice job avoiding contact with 16774 there. Which is definitely difficult to do because that is a big robot. Probably some contact there from 16774. Some nice shots from the back from 16774 there. It looks like some team hit the close wall far enough, actually moved it, so the ref is fixing that. Some really good shots from us there, and got our first overflow artifact. And good call to not open the gate with the time remaining. In-game start, getting a lot more overflow going. And those artifacts there at the bottom of that goal do still count for depot, so I think we were pushing them up against the wall to make sure we still get points there. And we drive around a little bit more. I think we were trying to shoot one more, and we get a last second, I think, double partial park there, literally like in the last second of that match. We get a good partial. I think it's double partial right there. That might be a foul on the other team too. It looks like there's 3 robots in our base zone right now. So that may be a foul on blue for having a robot in that base zone during in-game.
Match 7, the score was 46-57. We won this match.
Moving on to match 8 here. We are on the Blue Alliance, starting the top left of your screen. Once again, competing with 4924, the Redbeard Pandas. Though I did just mention we are competing with Redbeard Pandas.
No robot there. We're gonna in-game charge full park.
So we're listening to the drive team audio, which is me and Mehar right now. You can hear me say that there's no Redbeard Pandas robot on the field. They were having issues with it, and so we are competing solo in this match. And so our original plan was to try and drive on top of the robot on the ramp. We can hear us immediately changing that once the match starts, once we don't have a robot, or once they don't have a robot on the field.
I'm gonna full park.
We launched 3, we missed 2, but we do get all 3 from the spike mark.
No driving on top, none of that. Easy. Easier. All right.
What was that?
He's been shooting from inside that field, and it's been really successful.
You can hear us talking about our past drive teams and what they found
That
successful.
last one was manual. Go to Jeet, go to Jeet, go to Jeet.
And so what I'm saying there with going manual is turning off the auto launch. No, the auto line is still on. Auto shoot speed is off, and I'm manually pushing buttons to tell the robot what power to set the flywheels at to launch. And we were having some problems about telling which if it was on or off, but we get those corrected eventually.
Don't hit that when you leave. Good big try. Oh, okay.
You can see here it's really inconsistent power-wise.
Go from those smaller triangle, the near triangle. This one.
You can hear the Pandas team cheering our lines on, which is always appreciated. They do a really good job of doing that, even at qualifiers.
That was almost in.
Stay. Turn it.
You hear me telling him to stay as I'm trying to get that last ball out.
Go.
Contact there right in the middle.
Put them all in. Put them all in. Come on. Big triangle.
No, it's not that. Okay, wait.
You can see Mehar making some small corrections.
Whoa.
Sorry.
We see someone flying way out.
It's fighting me is what it's doing.
Keep going.
Do you want to explain that? What you mean by it fighting?
So whenever I said it was fighting me, since we have auto align, Parker was shooting manual for the flywheels, as in he's increasing the speed himself, choosing the power-wise. But when I was trying to auto-align it, I think what happened is, throughout our earlier matches, as you saw, we had controller issues or some type of connection issue. I think it was that type of issue again, where I was trying to auto-align, but it kept fighting me where I was trying to get it to align somewhat straight, but it kept on either drifting off to one side or the other side. So kind of halfway through, I just quit trying to auto-align it and just do manual line.
Could also possibly be a battery issue because the battery is dropping pretty far with the power that we're running the flywheels at for the launcher.
Go ahead and intake more.
Mehar, there's nowhere in there.
I know, it's fighting me is what it's doing.
They're playing defense, but do not hit them.
Yeah, you can see me here comment there that robot is playing defense, which is an interesting strategy in this year's
I'm
challenge.
just gonna go from here 'cause
Good avoidance there.
back.
And there's some contact there and a big hit there, and that is where we lose control.
It disconnected.
And I believe this is where one of our, either the controller or the expansion hub disconnected. And so we lost connection between the driver hub and the robot.
Yeah.
And so we lost control there at the end. And so unfortunately, no park for us.
In match 8, the score was 25-12, and we won.
All right, guys, match 9 up, the last regular qualification match. We are on the Blue Alliance, starting in the top left of your screen.
The robot wasn't on for a second.
I'm driving. I'm staying back here speaking.
Hey, that battery's low.
Hear me commenting though, we made just a few coding changes before this match and did not change the battery between those two events, which is probably not a huge problem, but here we launch 3, we only make 1, and we get 2 from the spike mark, and we are so close to that 3rd.
I think, you can hear Parker saying we're going to go directly manual, and how we were saying that Sam was coding something. I think in our previous match, if you saw how we weren't sure if we're in manual or being auto, I think we got Sam to code something where it would show up on the driver hub whether it was auto or was it manual. So it would help us, and we're not just guessing.
Yeah, but that does still take robot power having it on. So I think that might have affected our performance a little bit.
Okay, once you start telling out, drive forward, get the last one, okay? Okay. Give me Mehar. Get the last one.
There we go, picked up that 3rd one. And gonna launch right away. Get 1 in. Almost a 2nd one there, it was really close.
Whoa. Okay, be gentle with the flywheels. I'm gonna go back here.
Big triangle, yep. flywheels sound really weird.
So noticing maybe some problems with the flywheels as we're just hearing them.
Sound weird. Get one in. Thank you.
Get one in.
Okay, do not hit. Good job, good job.
A little bit of contact there after we avoided them the first time, but you know, no big deal.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's go that, go that.
Okay, it's fighting me again.
I think it's maybe a robot overload in terms of we just have too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
But you see the other team open their gate there. Interesting choice. There is enough time to probably load more in there, but still an interesting choice.
Okay, it says it's a line.
We are scoring several here successfully, and so I think we plan to just continue that pattern of back and forth. Yep, there you go. I say it right there.
We'll figure out park when we get to it. The first one's missing.
You can see the triangles, the triangle tips as we call them, do get a little congested with all the robot trying to launch from those same spots.
Come on.
Stay.
You see Brian trying to get that third one to launch. There we go. We make it. And because our parking does take a long time, we try and get a few more launch in-game before we park.
All right, move.
Park.
You can see Shockwave is still moving around. They raise up. And so that's definitely a partial, I believe, for Shockwave, though I do think they were pretty close to the tape. But then, unfortunately, I think we are on the tape, and so we do not earn a partial part there.
In match 9, the score was 54-49. We won this match.
All right, so guys, this is our call-out match. We called out the Redbeard Pandas and wanted to do a match with them on our alliance to see if we could drive up on the ramp as we had missed earlier. This is a different drive team than before, and we've done some practice ahead of time. We'll show you a clip of that here.
Go, just go straight. Right there. That's good.
And so we were a little bit more confident coming into this match. So without further ado, this is our call-out match. We are on the Red Alliance with the Redbeard Pandas, starting in the top right of your screen. And you'll hear the audio that you're hearing is coming from the camera on the robot, so you'll be able to hear the flywheels in contact a little bit more in this match. You can see, I think we did contact the pandas there a little bit, so that will probably affect our ability to get to the spike mark. It definitely affected our ability to launch there because we missed all three. However, we were able to move the pandas robot back enough to get all three off the spike mark. So we are fully loaded up heading into driver control. So you can hear in a minute here the flag will swoop back up after the change of programs there. Get really close there to opening the blue gate, which would be a major foul, but we avoid it. You can see a really good view here in the bottom right in the picture-in-picture of us intaking artifacts.
Major contact there.
Nice catch there by the volunteer in the top left. Nice shot there. Good avoidance there. 16-774, I believe it is, did contact them, but we kind of straight up around the outside there. And you hear the flywheels really spill up here, meaning that I probably went to manual. You can see we're loading in artifacts there. Almost had that one go in twice and bounced around a lot up there. That volunteer's making catches left and right. You see in-game start. And And so we're gonna change to this view so you guys can see us. So we drive up, but we didn't get all the way up, so we backed off to try and do it again here. And unfortunately, we could not get lined up in time, and so we only get partially on, and then we slide back off. We were lucky we didn't score a foul there at the end, because I believe we continued driving up after the timer had ended. But still, a really good try. It is just hard because our robot is so big, and theirs is big as well. And the bottom of a robot actually hits their robot when we go up, and so it gets stuck, and so it is hard for our robot to get up there.
In the call-out match, the score was 45-36, and we lost.
All right, so we're going to explain contact penalties, because this is one thing that is a little confusing for people who are new to First or First Tech Challenge. Usually the contact penalties are dished out based on intent. So if it looks like a robot intentionally hit another robot, that'll probably be called a penalty. However, if it's accidental, they'll be more lenient about it. And how they dish out major versus minor will be, how hard it was, if it was intentional or not. But that is one area where it is up to the referee's discretion on how that penalty is dished out. Additionally, penalties in FTC, all that does, it is not negative from your team, it is just positive for the other alliance. So any foul points that get scored are added to the other alliance's score. You'll be able to see that in the score breakdown at the end of every match.
Now, one thing we always remember on this team is that we never lose. We always learn from all our matches.
So Drive Team did a really good job. Really great day getting to meet other teams, helping each other out, helping other FTC teams there that are new to this. Some teams helped us out, taught us some things. Thanks to the Pandas for letting us out and letting other FTC teams come out to this great event they held. We hope if they can do it again next year, we'd love to come back. I also want to give a thanks to all our sponsors one time.
Thanks to the Pandas for having us out for this event. We had a really great time. Let us know down in the comments if you want to see more content like this. We did have 2 other qualifiers we could analyze matches from. If you're curious, be sure to check out our other video that shows our full day with timestamps and all of that. We'd love for you to check that out. Be sure to subscribe to our channel as we have more videos coming out this summer, and are hopefully going to have a few live streams showing our summer camps and other matches that we'll be doing throughout our off season. With that, thanks for watching, and catch you next time.